Okay, so gotta do my brain dump for today. So I think something that I've really thought about just yesterday, watching Inside Out 2, as well as today, having applied to an email for a job. I have come to the very important realization that it doesn't really help to worry about what you can't control. It's more about what you can do in the present moment. And if you can't do anything in the present moment, then it doesn't really help to worry. So I just accidentally sent an email a little early before I proofread it properly, and there was a typo on it, and I felt like I could have worded certain things better. I could have said certain things that would have worded things in a way that sounded better on my end, rather than be overly humble and not giving myself the credit that I actually feel like I do deserve. And I can't really unsend that email or edit that email anymore. What's been sent has been sent. On the other hand, I've made that choice, and I do believe that being honest and being transparent, I think, does better on just the communication aspect in general, just to be more clear with your employers and everything. And I know, like, employers are not always honest, and I've heard advice like, if you're not honest, if your employers aren't going to be honest, why do you have to be honest with everything? But I feel like you should still be honest, and you should still do the right thing, and be clear and honest about, like, what you are, what you've done, how you've done it, and whatnot. That being said, I do feel like I've probably shot myself a little bit in the foot, if not majorly, at least a little bit. And I think right now, I also saw something someone said recently that, like, just do the right thing without expecting anything back. I'm kind of paraphrasing. It's not exactly what they said, but I think that's a very good way to go about things, is to sort of do the thing that you think you should be doing without sort of like expecting anything to come out of it. You should just be doing the right thing because it's the right thing, because that strengthens who you know you are to be yourself. And that, I think, is the most important thing, to just keep on reinforcing that version of yourself that you feel like is the version that you feel the most in alignment with. And in doing so, the right opportunities will keep coming and keep presenting themselves for you to reach out and meet. So basically, with this email, I might have shot myself a little bit in the foot. Might not get the job. I should probably not really expect myself to be getting a job in that sort of way. I should just do my best and do what I can in the present moment. I've done as much as I could. I sent an email saying or correcting my typo. Thought that was the best thing to do, to show that I actually care about this email, I care about this opportunity enough to double check it and to send it, even if I didn't check it right away. I don't have to get into the details of, I accidentally hit send before I proofread it or anything. I don't have to say any of that. I can just correct it, and then let that be that. If it works out, great. If not, that's great as well. It wasn't necessarily meant to be, and I should just keep on going and keep doing what I am supposed to be doing. So I think what would help me a lot more, rather than to sort of like linger on and expect to hear back and want to get the job or anything, I should probably just keep my expectations low, keep my expectations just like as little as possible, so that I can just keep doing what I've been planning to do, and not sort of like latch on to any sort of idea of what this could entail for me, because I don't know that. I can't control that. That's not within my control. That's up to people on the other side of the country, on the other side of the continent even, to do as they see fit. And I don't really know necessarily, like, I could make attempts at guessing what they like or what they wouldn't like, but at the end of the day, it's their decision. They know what they want, and I can't really control that. beyond what I've already done, which is send my email reply. So I think the best thing for me is to just sort of like sit back and continue doing what I've been meaning to do without really thinking about that situation. Just carry on with my day, carry on with my life. And personally, I think based on my experience of having been rejected from the TMNT job that I applied to them a year ago, and the aftermath of myself sort of like losing faith in myself because I had so much confidence in that, had so much expectation weighing on that opportunity, and me feeling like shit and being so like despair and hopeless, feeling so much anguish and everything from not getting that job. I think learning from that situation, I think I should probably put my expectations sort of on the side, or rather not to have any expectations whatsoever, because this is outside of my control now. I should just breathe in, breathe out, and then carry on with my day. Yesterday's movie that I watched, Inside Out 2. Awesome movie, by the way, really good. The main thing about that was a little bit about, I guess, Inside Out 2 spoilers, I suppose. So spoiler warning. That one was about dealing with anxiety, and that movie explored a lot of topics about like what worrying about a situation you can't really control does to you, but also what making drastic choices about things you don't really know about could do. So those things can really get in the way of you just making the right choices, doing what's right in the moment, because you could really overthink things and start creating scenarios that aren't really either feasible or realistic, or they could just be like bogging you down and putting extra stress on you when you could just be focusing on what's right in front of you, what's important. And right now what's important is for me to keep working on my my animation and my personal projects. So that should be my first priority right now. Getting a job would be really, really good, and getting that job would be really, really good. But I'm just going to not expect anything out of that. I'm going to assume that ship has sailed, and I'm gonna assume I didn't get that job. Now, is that actually necessarily the best way to go about things, to assume one way? Because that's not necessarily having no expectations, because that's having an expectation that I already didn't make it. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best option either. I guess I'm just bracing for the impact of whatever verdict comes back whenever the recruiter I've been emailing gets back to me. So I think I'm just softening that blow so that if I don't expect to get that job, I'm not gonna feel devastated once that news comes to me as a confirmation. Maybe I should just learn to be resilient and to just learn to take the outcome that comes, because I've done what I could in the moment. Mistakes and accidents happened that got me to send that email earlier than I wanted to, but what's happened has happened. And now I can decide what can happen next. What I cannot decide is whether I make it in or not, because I do not have a choice in that decision. I've done what I can to influence that decision in the best I could at the moment, and now I've sort of thought about it, looked back and reflected, which is good too. Reflecting on what you could have done better, that's fine. That's good for growth, but not to dwell on it in a way that like debilitates you, in a way that sort of just keeps you in stasis, in paralysis mode. And spoilers again for Inside Out 2, that's sort of what you saw in the climax of the story, when anxiety is sort of just like locked on to the control panel, and she can't do like anything because she's just like frozen in paralysis. And that really doesn't help, because that just limits you to act in the moment based on what happened in the past or the future. But what matters most is the present. So take that opportunity and act on the present.